Good morning. Good morning. This is a vibrant and busy time at First Unitarian Universalist Church of Austin. So before we formally begin our worship service, we invite you to lend your attention to a few brief announcements that will let you know about some ways to get involved in the life of the church. So first, we're kicking off another round of circle dinners, which are a great way to connect socially with a small group of people. Groups of 6 to 9 people will meet for 3 or 4 potluck meals in each other's homes. For more information, see the Friday email newsletter or stop by the table in Housen Hall. The last day to sign up is March 31st. Today, and for many years, our UU youth have been fortunate to enjoy summer camps and UU youth from around the country. Here in Texas, U Camp and Retreat Center is just a short drive away in Texas Hill Country near Kerrville. For 3 weeks in June, 1-week camps will gather for primary camp for grades 4 through 6, intermediate camp for grades 7 through 9, and senior camp for grades 10 through 12. We plan to offer camp activities at U from camp swimming, archery, community service, walking the labyrinth, camp meetings, games, crafts, worship, and activities led by the UU camp chaplain. We'll spend lots of time having fun while deepening our UU faith. So take a look for that if you're interested. Each Sunday, one of our caring companions is designated to be available at the front of the sanctuary after the service to listen to any immediate pastoral needs and assist you with connecting to additional pastoral support if you would like. Today's caring companion is Carolyn Greminger. Carolyn, could you please stand or wave your arms so we can thank you and folks can identify you? Thanks, Carolyn. On each Sunday, we light candles in the sanctuary and along the windows to mark sacred moments in our lives. Although we do have a time set aside during worship to note these candle lightings, you are invited to light candles at any time before or during the service when you feel moved to do so. Now, let all who have gathered in beloved community, whether in virtual space or in person, join our spirits in worship together.
Good morning. Whether you are joining us online or here in this sanctuary, welcome to First Unitarian Universalist Church of Austin. We are a spiritual community dedicated to a free and responsible search for beauty, truth, and meaning. I am the Reverend Michelle LaGrave, your co-lead interim minister. I'm a middle-aged white woman with short, spiky-ish hair and glasses, wearing a blue shirt and stole, if you are looking for me later. And my pronouns are she, her. It is a joy to be with all of you today. I especially want to welcome you if you are new here or visiting with us today. If you are joining us remotely, and if you can, please say hello in the comments and let us know from where you are viewing the service. If you are here in person, please join us for the social hour after worship. And you really don't want to miss today's social hour because we are having our pie eating contest in honor of Pie Day. So there are vegan, sweet, and savory pies for you to taste and vote on, as well as all sorts of other food to eat. So you are very welcome to join us for that. Either way, whether you are here or in person or online, there is an online visitor form you can fill out at austinuu.org. Simply click on worship, which will then show you a link to the form. And if you're willing to do that, we would love the opportunity to get to know you a little bit better. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, wherever you find yourself on your life's journey, whichever your pronouns, whomever your ancestors, whatever your abilities or disabilities, whether you've walked in or rolled in or joined in, whomever you love, you are welcome here. You belong here. We come from a long tradition of seeing a spark of the divine in every person. It is in this tradition, this living tradition, that I invite you to greet the holy among us, either in the comments or by turning to your neighbors and saying hello.
Please join me. Please join me in the words by which we light this chalice. This is the flame we hold in our hearts as we strive.
It is okay to be tired of change. It is okay to be tired of everything different. Okay to feel weary of resiliency and wholeness and learning and growth. And okay to yearn simply for rest. It's okay to be grouchy and unsatisfied, and all the ordinary human ways of being that we are. Let this morning be a reminder that you are loved. Let our time together soothe what is restless in you. May you be comforted in knowing that whatever you are feeling today and other days, you are not alone. You are never alone. Come, let us worship together. And let us begin by singing together, number 389, Gathered Here.
We're going to sing through this all together once in a second, and then we're going to break off into rounds. Group 1 is over with Bethany on this half of the room, and then this half of the room's with us folk over here. Here we go, all together. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit coming. Group 1. Group 2. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit coming. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw
One of the things that binds First UU together as a religious community is that our congregation has a common purpose. For First UU, that common purpose is the mission. The congregation wrote it together and put it up on the wall in the sanctuary. Every Sunday, we say it together so that we may more readily carry it in our hearts with us throughout the week. Let us say it together now. Together, we nourish souls, transform lives, and do justice to build the beloved community.
Sorry.
Now is the time in our service for this time for all ages. So if you are young or young at heart and would like to come join me up here on the chancel, now is your opportunity to do so. Come on up. And E is going to help me this morning. So instead of a storybook, we have an activity to do. We're going to get started on it anyway. Come on up, everyone. It is wonderful to be back together with all of you this morning. Thank you for coming up here with me. So I know that we have all been pretty busy lately, and some of us might be in need of some extra rest. So that's what we're going to be talking about. But the way I want to do this is to pool all of our knowledge and experiences and be able to share our wisdom with each other. There are lots of times we look to books to get some wisdom, but you know what? You all have wisdom too. You all know things, and we can share the things you know with each other and with the rest of the congregation. So I have some questions to get us started, and if you want to answer, I'll repeat it into the microphone so all of those who are with us online can hear what you have to say too. So who here, not just up here, but the whole congregation, who here has ever felt like they are tired and really need to rest? Almost everybody. All right. What happens when you're tired and you can't get the rest that you feel like you need? Do you have any examples? You can shout them out from out there too. Some people get grouchy when they're tired and haven't gotten enough rest. Do you guys get grouchy sometimes when you're tired? Oh, some people feel like they kind of disconnect from what's really going on, just sort of withdraw, go inward. Has anybody ever fallen asleep in their food while they're eating? You know, there's people like to put pictures on the internet, especially of their babies and kids falling asleep in their food. That's never happened to you? No? Okay. I figured I'd ask anyway. Have any of you ever fallen asleep someplace that you aren't supposed to or when you didn't mean to? Like maybe in school or while watching TV or while reading a book or in church. I was getting there. So if there's so much going on and we're so busy, I'm guessing you all have a lot of different activities. You might play with your friends and have sleepovers, or have different sport teams you're part of, or different clubs you are in, or all sorts of stuff. So if you get so busy and so tired and you need some rest, what is it that you can do to get some more rest? So I'm going to let you think about that just for a moment, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. I have these cards here. We're going to make wisdom cards, and then we're going to hang these up on my office door, and I'll leave some blank ones so people can add to them later on if you think of something later that you didn't think of right now. And we have all sorts of fun colored pens. I'm going to hand the pouch to E here. And we'll go back to the question. So what can we do to get more rest when we're not getting enough? Who has an idea we should put on a wisdom card? How about you? Sleepwalk. Yes, I'm going to give E some cards too, so we can keep going. What else? How about Quinn? Lay on the couch and read with your cat. You're getting that one? Okay. What else? I think there was one over here. Did you have an idea? Yeah. Charlie, did you have an idea? Lay on the couch and rest with your cat? Sleep. Lay on the couch and sleep. Sleep is good. Take a nap on the couch. How about you? Sleep on the way to where you're going. So if you're not the driver, right? Yeah, if you're the passenger, sleep on the way to where you're going. That's a great thing to do. What else can we do? How about you? Meditate. That's a great way to rest. Yeah, meditate. Pray. Go to sleep early or wake up later. Also a great idea. Sometimes we shortchange ourselves overnight, right? Yeah. Especially if we're excited about what we're doing and we don't really want to go to bed, but then we kind of pay for it in the morning, right? Yeah. Any other ideas? That's a great start. Okay. So adults too? What's that? I do too. He loves sleeping at night, just at night, but he loves sleeping, he loves his bed. I do too. Although I like staying up really late at night, reading my Kindle in the dark with the little light that comes on, and then I get really tired in the morning. So yeah, going to bed earlier would be some wisdom I could follow. Sitting outside in the sunshine and just basking in the sun. Maybe not in July and August, but the rest of the year. You could take a sun bath. And I've heard of other people taking a forest bath. How about back there? Listening to the birds. You can even do that from inside if you open your windows. Listening to the birds. How about back there? Crafting? Yeah, I like that too. Crafting, doing something creative. How about listening to peaceful music? That is something we're going to do right here today in worship. We've already started, but we're going to do some more of that. How about when you're out on the playground? Do you ever find a corner of the playground and just sit and be quiet? Yeah. Rest on the tree with your head back. Or lie in the grass. Yeah. Those are all wonderful. You guys are so wise. So we've got a zillion cards over here. Thank you, Eve, for doing all that writing. And we're going to hang those up. And remember, you could add more if you think of more ideas later. So thank you for sharing your wisdom with each other and with me and E and the whole congregation. And I will invite everyone to sing you out to the playground if you are going to the playground. Okay. Thank you. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out,
This is the time during the service when we commit to the mission and ministries of the church by making an offering. We give out of our own so that together we might build a better world. If you are visiting with us today, please allow the plate to pass you by. You are our guests. You can give in a few different ways by going to austinuu.org and clicking on the link on the top right side of the page, or by texting your contributions to 84321, or by placing an offering in the basket the ushers are about to pass. Here in the sanctuary, the ushers will now collect our offerings. All blessings on your gifts and all blessings on you as givers. I will be reading an excerpt from Rest is Resistance, a manifesto by Tricia Hersey. Tricia Hersey, also known as the Nap Bishop, is the founder of the Nap Ministry. Hersey makes a historical connection between slavery and contemporary grind culture and views rest as one form of reparations for Black people. She holds a Master of Divinity degree as well as a bachelor's degree in public health. Everything we know about rest has been tainted by the brainwashing from a white supremacist capitalist system. As a culture, we don't know how to rest, and our understanding of rest has been influenced by the toxicity of grind culture. We believe rest is a luxury, privilege, and an extra treat we can give to ourselves after suffering from exhaustion and sleep deprivation. Rest isn't a luxury, but an absolute necessity if we're going to survive and thrive. Rest isn't an afterthought, but a basic part of being human. Rest is a divine right. Rest is a human right. We come into the world prepared to love, care, and rest. The systems kill us slowly via capitalism and white supremacy. Rest must interrupt. Like hope, rest is disruptive. It allows space for us to envision new possibilities. We must reimagine rest within a capitalist system.
Let us begin this practice of rest by listening quietly to a musical meditation. I invite you now to light a candle if you are so moved. Candles representing sorrow, joy, hope, remembrance, resilience, whatever it is that you need to honor during this time. As we light these candles, I invite you to keep in your mind and heart members of our community who are ill or sorrow, including Cheryl Croft, who is currently undergoing treatment for cancer, and those who are celebrating joys. Now let us hold the silence together throughout this meditative time.
I was talking to a lady a few days ago, and these are the words she said. If you see my child somewhere as you journey here and there, tell him I'm waiting for my child to come home. I am waiting for my child to come. I am waiting for my child to come. If you can't come home, would you please send me a letter? A letter would mean so much to me. Oh, my child may be somewhere on his sick bed with no one there to rub his head. Oh, my child may be somewhere in some lonely jail with no one there to go his bail. If I only knew what town my child was in, I'd be there on that early morning train. And no matter That's why I'll be waiting for my child to come home. I am waiting, and when my child to come. I am waiting for my child to come. If you can come home, could you please send me a letter? A letter would mean so much to me. I am waiting, I am waiting. I am waiting, I am waiting, am waiting. I am waiting for my child to come home.
And now we light one last candle for all those for whom there is no one to light a candle. The Torah, the Tanakh, the Hebrew Scriptures, the Christian Bible, whatever it is you call these most ancient of the Jewish and Christian texts, they all begin, as most stories do, in the beginning, Bereshit. And the first story that is told about the creation of the world, of our world, and how after 6 days of work, God rested on the seventh. God rested. God, who some theologians later came to describe as omnipotent, got tired and had to rest. So I ask, if God, God's self, can get tired and need to rest, who are we not to? Who are we to say that we don't need to rest, that there's too much to be done, that we can rest later? After X, Y, and Z things have been done, of course. Who are we to tie our self-worth, our sense of value, into how much and how quickly we get things done? Notice the words I've used here, self-worth and value. These are also monetary terms, which is no accident. Our Western Judeo and Christian history of laboring for people other than ourselves or our own communities is long and fraught and goes back to ancient times. When God gave Moses the 10 Commandments, God took some extra time to specify exactly what God meant by saying, on the seventh day, you should rest. Not just you should rest, but your sons and your daughters, your male and your female slaves, your livestock, and alien residents in your community. Everyone must refrain from work. Everyone must rest. No exceptions. We know why, right? Because people are people, even ancient times, and because we know that somebody was going to try to get away with resting themselves while requiring other people to work. In more recent history, our track record is no better, and likely worse. With the rise of capitalism, as it moved through its various stages, much of this nation's wealth was created by people who were oppressed in many ways, especially Blacks who were enslaved, but also indigenous people who were enslaved, white indentured servants, and white people who did not own property and could not vote, which included all women and all children. For centuries, the dominant culture of our nation has valued production. The more, the better, the faster, in terms of creating wealth, and it has done so for centuries, regardless of the cost. The cost, or the toll, more monetary terms, it has taken on human bodies and human souls. The more wealth, the better. The faster we acquire the wealth, the better. And this has spilled over into our other aspects of our lives as well. Not just the creation of wealth, but also the arts. Think of ballet, the ballerinas with bleeding feet for our entertainment. Sports, think of any of them, but especially football. Even our learning. The more difficult, the better. The higher numerical grade, the better. The faster we move ahead, the better. And our academia, the more journal articles and books published, the better. The more, the better. It is all over the place. So what do we do about all of this? The first thing is to acknowledge that this idea, this value, the more the better, is one aspect of the dominant culture in our country. Next thing is to acknowledge that this aspect, the more the better, is a problem. It exists and it's a problem. And finally, the work is to dismantle this aspect of our culture. Stop putting such a high value on the more, the better. After all, look at where it's gotten us. To right here. Exactly where we are, with billionaires running our country. Some of them not even elected. And for those of you who haven't picked up on it yet or aren't familiar with the work of Tima Okun and others, I am talking about dismantling one of the toxins of white supremacy culture. I know that phrase, white supremacy culture, is really hard. It's really challenging and difficult. And so I talk about dominant culture instead a lot. But it's the same thing. To do this, it is helpful to look to the leadership of those who have been most adversely impacted by this culture, by toxins like the more the better, the faster the better. Enter Tricia Hersey, author of the reading E shared with us earlier today from her book, Rest is Resistance, a Manifesto. Slowing down our grind culture, turning away from the focus on production, dismantling the constant push of the more, the better, is not only good for our bodies and our souls, it is also an act of resistance. A bill of reparations owed, an act of allyship, and a deeply theological imperative. And one of the places we have begun this work is right here in our church, because the more the better has been true here, right? We count the number of programs the church offers. We count the number of people who show up to a program at the church. We count the number of minutes there are in a sermon or a worship service. And we make judgments on those. The sermon's probably the only one which the longer the better might not hold true. The exception to prove the rule. And by the way, this morning will be shorter than my usual, so that you have a little more time to rest on your Sunday. I know how much there is to be done in all of our lives, and in this country, and in this world, and from so many, many perspectives. I know how easy it is to feel a sense of overwhelm. I feel it too. I struggle with finding enough rest too. Sometimes that's why we preach these sermons, is because we need to preach to ourselves. This is one of those cases. We all feel the overwhelm. And we should know that we aren't the first to feel this way. When the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. felt the weight of the struggle for change and justice and its attendant exhaustion and the fear for his own life that he lived under, he turned to a particular hymn, his favorite, Precious Lord, Take My Hand, which we will sing together shortly. And as you go forth a little bit later today, after eating some pie, I encourage you to continue to explore. We began with our kids earlier today, the many, many ways of resting. Sleep, yeah, sure, get plenty of that, but not just sleep. Find other ways to rest too. And as you do, remember that in your resting and in your insistence upon rest, you are doing the work of the resistance. You are not taking a break from doing the work of the resistance. By resting, you are resisting. May it be so. Amen, and blessed be.
Please rise, either in body or spirit, and let us sing together number 199 in the teal gray. It says teal on my notes. No worries. 199. Precious Lord, take my hand. Please join me in the words by which we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we hold in our hearts until we are together again.
A few more words from Tricia Hersey before our benediction. You are worthy of rest. You don't have to earn rest. Rest is not a luxury, a privilege, or a bonus we must wait for once we are burned out. Rest is not a privilege because our bodies are still our own, no matter what the current systems teach us. The more we think of rest as a luxury, the more we buy into the systematic lies of grind culture. Our bodies and spirits do not belong to capitalism. No matter how it is theorized and presented, our divinity secures this, and it is our right to claim this boldly. So whether you are a resistor or an ally or a little bit of both, go, boldly claiming your divine right to rest, and in doing so, bless all others as you yourselves are blessed. Amen, and blessed be.